Welcome in, friendos, to Leading Off. Do I sound a little down? We'll get to it. Leading Off is brought to you, though, by PrizePicks. Check them out today. Download the app and use the promo code Leading Off to get a 100% match up to $100 free money to have fun. Place some money out there. I don't want to say the word bets, but you know what I'm saying. You can do the little drafts. You can do the pick'ems, do all the fun stuff. Fun is available. Not for me, but for you. Joining me today is the Wonky Penguin, Kelly Kirby. Kelly, are you certified in grief therapy is my question.
I actually am. So I'm ready to lead you through this.
Are you actually?
Yes, I actually am. But
okay.
It's okay.
I didn't know if it was like real. Like you've actually found it sounded like very certain about that. And I wanted to make sure you really are. Why are we trying to find out about grief therapy? Well, yes, we're going to talk about lots of stuff and things. There might be many that are going to need some grief therapy after Manoah Day, which we'll get to. But we are going to start the show off with really the most devastating news for this show. Let's be honest. It is the most devastating news for this show as a whole, for everybody here collectively. Corbin Carroll last night with a wide swing, because he does have a very far back looped one-handed swing on the follow through. It's very aggressive. It's crazy bat speed. It's how he generates a lot of the power. Went back. The arm just kind of went, it didn't pop, but it had like a natural popping motion going forward. And he immediately curled over, grabbed the arm, and had to be sent out. I looked at that thing and I went, all right, it's football season. Like, what am I supposed to do here? I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Though, Kelly, there were encouraging things from Torey Lovello after that. Apparently, structurally, everything was okay. That he walked out and hung out in the dugout after, and they're performing an MRI probably as we are doing this show. I fully expect someone to break something in here. But Kelly, as the sign says behind me, I'm a little dead inside. Give me good news. Give me something.
Give you something. Well, the something is this. It's his shoulder, so I'm still thinking that maybe he could pinch run and steal all the bases I was counting on him for. But yeah, I otherwise I don't have much until the MRI comes back. I think that I'm hoping my biggest problem is it's the same shoulder that he had the issue with before. And so that makes me a little bit more nervous than anything else. But that could also mean he was more like freaked out about it. You know what I mean? Like if you're used to that being painful, but that's all I've got for you, Welsh.
Well, okay, that didn't really make me feel better. Okay, I gotta be honest with you, Kelly. It didn't make me feel
as long as I'm doing my job, we're good.
Yeah, we're gonna have to work on the grief counseling a little bit more here. We'll work through it. Okay. As you said, he had a torn labrum a couple years ago. You are right about one thing. He's super in tune to that shoulder, because what happened, like whatever it was, like a week ago, was he just felt something weird and he immediately took himself out. So he is very, very aware of what's going on. This did not look like that. And we're just going to have to wait through. Maybe a best case scenario is he's going to unfortunately have to probably miss the All-Star game. This is his hometown. He's probably not going to play. Maybe it's a short IL stint. The worst case scenario is we've lost him for the year, and I will blame Joe for everything. This is actually Joe's fault, by the way. Every show, like, oh, we told you about Corbin Carroll. We told you. And then he leaves. He leaves the show for one. It's we took a vacation, everybody. He leaves the show, and everything is falling apart.
Yes, this is true. And he left us for wrestling, which is fine.
Wrestling.
But I'm like, well, we have a shoulder situation over here. I don't know what you're going to see tonight. But yes, this is entirely his fault. The victory laps, I think we were all taking about Carroll, you most of all. It was like, this is great. And we made it to the All-Star. I thought we made it to the All-Star break. I was like, wow, he's really stellar. And then boom. And of course, in our other chat, the only thing Joe could say was that he wished he'd hedged with Ellie. And I was like, that's very insensitive. It's very insensitive.
It is what I woke up to today. I was going to pull it up here, but I'm not sure. I don't want to share the full chat. I literally woke up to Joe not being on the show and only saying this: I should have hedged my bet with Ellie. And I was just like, I hope you get suplexed tonight. I hope Joe gets suplexed and then like a DDT or something. Let me ask you this, though, on that note, though. If, let's just say the hypothetical worst happens, can Corbin Carroll still take down that Rookie of the Year award? Or with the full half season, coming up, Ellie De La Cruz, Yuri Perez, probably the two biggest. Do you think they're going to overtake Corbin? I mean, because think about what Corbin's done. The projections, I looked about a week ago, the projections, rest of season projections on the BatX had Ellie essentially doing what his projections got him to where Corbin Carroll is now. 18 homers, 26, 27 stolen bases, something like that. And that's where he would be. So if Ellie finished in relative range of Corbin and he's out for the year and Yuri gets kind of shut down, can Corbin still win that award?
So we got two things working against you. One, recency bias will be a big problem. So of course, it's kind of like Ellie will be good on the second half. If Corbin's not there at all, then pretty soon it's going to be like, oh, well, what did Carroll do? We don't really even remember. And two, if the Reds continue kind of doing what they're doing and they sneak into the playoffs, I don't think Carroll's got a chance.
This is another good one right here from Lee, is Francisco Alvarez. The only problem with Francisco Alvarez, he does lead all catchers in baseball in homers, which is crazy, but he's hitting like 220. And unless I suppose if he hits 35 homers, that will be hard to do. And if he can raise his average, but if he's 220, that's tough. But you're right. If the Reds get into the playoffs, Ellie probably runs away with that. I don't know. You probably need to be positive. The Diamondbacks were trying to be positive. We will get results here soon. And hopefully, if it's good news, hopefully it happens in the next 10 minutes. If it's bad news, hopefully, let's see, what's their time is? Hopefully it happens in about 22 minutes as soon as this show is over, because I'm not looking to get fired from FantasyPros today.
And I'm not looking to watch you cry. So,
okay, well, I appreciate that. Speaking of crying, there might be some crying because today is Manoah Day. Alek Manoah returns, celebrate, whichever side you celebrate, by the way. Alek Manoah coming off of a good AA performance. He went 5, he struck out 10, but he walked 3, he hit a batter. This all happened in the first couple innings. He's going up against Detroit today. And Kelly, the books are cowards. They are terrified. They didn't want me to take a second mortgage out responsibly. They didn't want me to go and find a loan shark in a shady part of Phoenix responsibly, because all I was looking to do was bet 2.5 over walks or anything, any single bet but his stupid strikeouts. None are available. Maybe you feel different. How are you celebrating, and what do you see coming from Manoah Day?
Well, first of all, I'm not starting him. I have him in a dynasty league, so I've had him forever there, and I'm just going to leave him sit, mostly because I don't trust the Tigers. They have screwed me over multiple times this year in betting, so I'm just out. But I was thinking about today where if they offered kind of an over 4.5 strikeouts, over 3.5 walks, like little parlay, little grouping, I'm like, I'd take it, because I think he'll strike out 5, no problem. But man, that other half.
What time does that game get down? Because here's something I've seen happen a lot. Yeah, what time is it?
Isn't it like 6 o'clock Eastern or something?
Okay, so here's the possibility. Everyone be ready. Maybe about an hour before they post something. They like to do that sometimes. Then responsibly take your life savings and put it against. Here's a game I think we should play, and maybe we can track this, because someone already just did this. Bizarriza here's his line: 5 innings, 4 hits, 4 walks, 4 runs, 8 Ks. This is amazing. Let's drop some Manoah lines in the chat, and let's see who gets it right. So give me your Manoah line today, because you're not starting him. No way in hell I'm starting. I don't care if he hits the Tigers today. I'm not going to take any ooh, I was wrong. You don't start him. You don't start him in any scenario. So give me your Manoah line today.
I'm going to go with 4 1/3, 6 strikeouts. I'm still thinking 4 walk. I mean, I think it's just going to be weird and ugly. And he'll give up probably 3 runs and leave the bases loaded.
Okay. I'm going. I like that. All right. So
is that specific enough? Okay.
That's very specific. By the way, his strikeout line on the books is 4.5. And I don't think it's crazy juice. So 5 is probably on it here. I'm going to go with 5 earned runs, 3 2/3, 5 Ks, 4 walks. Does that work? Did we get there? I think we got there. Here's a couple other lines here. Of course, the great beef gardens, 4 1/4 of an inning. I don't think you can do that. So I'm going to pretend that's
He's going to walk a guy and leave before he gets to first. I don't.
Is he going to strike out a guy? Then the ball's going to drop, and then he's going to have another out. I don't know. There's 5 Ks, 4 walks, 3 earned runs. Okay. What are some others? See, Zach went 3 innings pitched, 45 earned runs, 4 hit, and cries on the mound. All right, now we're just being really mean to him. 4, so 4 seems to be the magic number here. Everybody's 4s,
Yeah.
4 Ks, 4 innings, 2 walks, 2 earned runs. Here is Angelo's 3 innings pitched, 4 wins and 7 earned
4
runs.
walks.
4 walks. Okay. I was like, what are you guys doing today? I'm trying to see if anybody has a positive outcome. All right, this one's
David's going.
decent. Yeah, David, 6 innings, 3 walks, 2 earned runs, 7 Ks is the line. MBT with the 3.14, the pi of X plug is what's on here. And let's see. Okay, here's one more. We'll do. Brandon says 7 innings, 7 Ks, 3 walks, 2 earned runs. There you go. Razor has got some in there. So let's try to track this. Someone, not me, track this and see who gets it right so we can give accolades to the person that got it right. But at the end of the day, this would have been something I would have been comfortable stashing. I would stash Alek Manoah. I picked him up, just drop him on the bench, deal with that. No chance I'm starting him. Maybe the Ks will come back up. What we need to look for is control command. We need to see the walks are being managed. And if everything else, is in good sights, and we can probably return to, I don't know, 75% Manoah. Bottom line is we could get back to starting him next week. Although I don't know what his next matchup would be. Have you looked?
I have not looked.
All right. Well, someone let us know what that is, because as long as it's not like the Rangers or the Braves or something, I'd put him out in a mediocre lineup if he's solid today. So
yes,
I think we would be pretty good with that one. Some other notes around baseball as we keep moving here. Gunnar Henderson, 4 for 7, 2 homers, 5 RBIs as the Orioles put it down on the Yankees. We'll talk about that. But Gunnar Henderson has insane hard hit numbers. And I don't know if you have any Gunnar Henderson thoughts. Rest of the season, he has just been a monster. The buy window and dynasty, I think, is just kind of vanished. But he is one of those guys I am heavy betting in on the second half.
Yeah, I remember earlier that people were talking about dropping him, like outright. Like I was getting questions on Discord that were like, "Hey, if I drop Gunnar for fill in the blank," and I was like, I just don't think we should do that quite yet. Because I'm like, I feel like that hard hit and everything was going to come back for a team that was doing well, and now here he is. So yeah. That window is shut. Basically.
Yeah, it is a shot, by the way. Doobie said 2 innings, 6 cheeseburgers, and a small Diet Coke for Alek Manoah. Here's one too. I've seen this come up. I don't even know if I have this in the. I don't have this anywhere because we talked about this yesterday. If you were here with us, multiple people, not just Jay, has asked, when is Grayson coming up? I need to know on this ASAP fast. Just go pick him up. Go pick up Grayson right now. I assume this is going to be right after the All-Star break. I don't think there's any need for them to bring him up today. I guess you could bring him up maybe Sunday if you want to do something weird with the starters. But he just pitched on the 4th, so he would line up maybe to Sunday, but more like Monday. So here's what I think they do. I think he sticks around for one more minor league start, and then he comes back in, is set in the rotation right after the second half. So I don't think you should wait any longer. I think you should pick him up. That's the best advice I can give you for Grayson. When will they start him? Who the hell knows on anything anymore? But it will be soon, and you should just go get him now. And I think you agree, Kelly.
Yes, I do. I don't think they're going to. I mean, Cole Irvin might be seeing his last start today. So
yeah, you know what? Actually, that might be if Cole Irvin gets lit. There's something to watch for. Speaking of Francisco Alvarez, we mentioned before, he went 2 for 3 against the Diamondbacks, 2-run homer, 3 RBI. As I mentioned, I think that's 3 straight games with a homer, and he has the lead. He has got the lead in for all catchers over Sean Murphy, and he's doing it in. It's very apropos with Pete Alonso, his Pete Alonso style. Lots of homers with a 220, 230 batting average. So there you go for our boy Francisco. Lance Lynn recorded. Let's get your take here, because Lance Lynn, 11 strikeouts, 7 shutout innings, and a no decision. I was going to go way up against him the day before because he leads baseball, or tied with baseball, in homers given up right now. And then all of a sudden, Lance Lynn does the weird Lance Lynn stuff. So are you buying what Lance Lynn is selling right now?
Lance Lynn is the one I joked last night where I think everyone's giving the most thought time if you roster him, what you're supposed to do with him at this point. I guess you start him for a while, but you start him with the idea, like you don't start him if it's the end of the week and your ratios are terrible or are good. Like you just leave him out. But man, if you need strikeouts, I think he's still got that going. I just don't know. I don't trust him endurance wise, and they cannot get him a win to save their lives. So this is what you're getting with him. He's been a mystery all year.
This is wild too. I think I completely forgot about that 16 strikeout performance. He has had 7 or more
and he
strikeouts.
Still took the loss.
And he still took the loss. You're right. Well, I mean, he's given up, what is that, 11 earned runs in his last 4 games. But 5 of his last 6 have been at least 3 earned runs, and 3 of those 6 have been for 4 or more. So this last performance was a little bit more of the anomaly than anything else. But he's a big strikeout option. Maybe there's some stuff that's kind of moving in his direction. He's got a almost 2-run. It's about a 1.5 differential between his expected ERA and his actual ERA. Maybe the break is going to be good, and maybe he's going to be a trade candidate. But I don't know. I'm not. Oh, I got it. Lance Lynn or Alek Manoah rest of the season.
Don't do that to me. I would do Lynn, and I'd hate it.
Lance. Okay, so chat. Lance Lynn, Alek Manoah. Who would you rather have rest of the season? Post it in there. I want to know. This would be a poll thing, but I don't think Mayor's around today.
Yeah, he's not paying attention to us.
Okay. No, he's not paying attention at all. Also, Julio Urias yielded 2 runs over 6 innings and a win over the Pirates. He had 8 strikeouts, only 1 walk. He is critical for this Dodgers team, and it's really good to see him kind of get back to it. Do you think he's going to get back to, I don't know, top 20 SP for the second half?
Yeah, well, I mean, at this point, if he stays healthy now the rest of the year, probably. I've never been an Urias person, but I think that, with starting now, I think he could end up in the top 20 SP pretty easily. So
Richard said, I'd rather have Baseba pitching. And it is Lynn unanimously, by the way, or a cheeseburger. Those are the takes I've gotten is Joe Pisapia, a cheeseburger, or Lance Lynn is more comfortable than Alek Manoah so far in this chat, which we are setting Alek Manoah up to have one of the greatest comebacks today of all time. This might be a must watch because the way we're talking, we are setting this guy up to throw 5 innings, no hit, and striking out like 13. I'm telling you.
It's going to be, And then I don't have to come back and talk to you after that and admit how wrong we were. It's pretty great.
No, so. I won't come back either. Yeah, especially if Carroll's injured. I just won't come back at all.
Just be done.
Yeah, just done with it all. The rookie Lookie is a little bit interesting. One quick piece here. This isn't a rookie, but he did this in the minors. Riley Green went 1 for 3 with a solo homer on Thursday in a rehab game in AAA, which he is close. I think they're saying he might play this weekend. So maybe it's tomorrow that he's going to be activated, which is huge for me in a couple leagues because I had pretty heavy investments on Riley Green this year. And I think this is another one of those guys out of sight, out of mind with injury. I would love to go pick up in some type of cheap trade, or if you were obviously available, because I think Riley Green, this is another one of those second half guys I'm big bet on. You agree?
100%. Yep. If he's available, grab him. Or he's a great kind of target low, buy low guy. See if you can trade Manoah for him.
Yeah, I don't think you could, but if you can, you know what, if he has a good start, if Manoah has like a decent start, I would look to do that for sure. One of the so this is a weird one, and I hate it because I have a relationship with this guy kind of a little bit over time and chatted and had him on my show, but George Valera got into a little bit of a skirmish yesterday in, I believe he's in double or triple A. He was close. That's the worst part about this is Valera was getting close. I just saw him a couple weeks back and chatted with him out here in Complex. He really struggled going up to Columbus, and then he started getting going defensively, offensively, picked up. Well, something happened with the catcher, and I believe the catcher was Alex Jackson. I think I saw, if you guys remember him, former Mariners prospect who, catcher or Braves. I think he was a Mariner, then a Brave. Well, he said something. Valera turns around, starts barking, tries to go grab his mask. Then it gets really nasty where an ump gets between them and Valera shoves the ump over. And what is, I can only describe as a Yu-Gi-Oh type of anime move. Valera goes to punch and he punches Alex Jackson in the chest. and Jackson doesn't move. It was a Marvel type of move. It was like Shang-Chi. He didn't flinch, and it looked like a baby. And Valera swung hard. He didn't move, and it looked like out of a cartoon. But this is not going to be good, and this is not going to go well for. I understand that type of anger. I felt that anger last night. I wanted to do the similar things, but A, you can't push umps, and B, you can't punch players, kind of regardless of what happened. And Valera did both. So this is not going to be good, especially for the prospects of him maybe coming up this season at all, Kelly, for the Guardians.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a problem. I mean, they're going to suspend him for a while, I would assume. And then, you're looking at it, especially for the Guardians being in contention in the worst division in baseball. Do you want to bring that up? There's a maturity aspect that they might question for a playoff team. So
I don't think we're going to be seeing him. Blowing through some injuries here. Houston Astros, Jose Altuve, I think we might have mentioned this yesterday. Obviously, he's missed a couple games while injuring his left oblique. Well, he was officially placed on the IL, I think, after the show on yesterday. So 10-day IL, so he'll come back after the All-Star break. Dodgers, this is sad, plays Daniel Hudson. I saw him on camp and stuff. Comes back, I think he gets his first save, and he's immediately put back on the 15-day IL with a right knee MCL sprain. And Kelly, I think they said this is going to be a while, which is probably the rest of the year.
That's what I read as well. So yeah, I wouldn't hold on to him unless you have the IL space. So
yeah, Chung-Chi, I completely forgot the name of that one, Tim, that whatever it was called. That's what it looked like. That's what George Valera did. Jamer Candelario was removed on Thursdays in the extra innings in the Reds. He got hit by a pitch. He was down on the ground for a little bit as well. That's no bueno because he also is a trade candidate out in the market, so we got to make sure that's going to be good. The Guardians transferred Tristan McKenzie over to the 60-day IL. They've got some pitching problems. And Merle Kelly with the Diamondbacks threw a 54-pitch bullpen session. Why is this good? Because he was on the shelf with a blood clot in his right calf, which that sounds terrifying. That's why they think you get up in the hospital when you have something go on, right?
Yes. Yep. That is terrifying. I'm glad he could throw the bullpen. That means that they've probably taken care of it. So he should be
hopefully back. Yeah, he should. Quick little note. I want to do a little bit more on this, but we're just going to do a quick one. Coming up this weekend, and it's funny because look at this right here. Go Cards has perfect timing. Which LSU player are you taking 1-1 in the draft? Because this weekend is the MLB Draft. It's on Sunday. If you guys also want to follow me, I will actually be on CBS Sports HQ on their online TV side, breaking down a few of these picks. It's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern, and why is it important and big? Because there are massive, massive talents, like 3 or 4 players that would go number 1 in probably 5 of the last 7 drafts. And I just wanted to throw this out here because there's some betting odds that are out there. And I'm actually going to give you as a tease. I've got a dual bet I'm doing, which we're going to do in the best bets. But the most recent mock draft Jonathan Mayo put out, here's what your top 5 looks like for this weekend. Superstar pitcher Paul Skeens. When Go Cards was saying which LSU player, Paul Skeens as the number 1 player to the Pirates. That has not been a heavy linked thing. Dylan Cruz, number 2, going to the Nationals. So both LSU guys going. He has Tigers' Wyatt Langford, which might be one of the biggest locks, going 3. The Rangers getting high school outfielder Max Clark. And then number 5, Twins taking Walker Jenkins. Those are the big 5 of all the players here. Wonky, are you invested at all in any of these guys in the MLB draft? Do you know any of them? I don't know how much you digest college and draft and high school stuff in baseball.
Well, I mean, I know of it, but what I was going to say was I did read an article about taking college pitchers number 1, and the track record on that isn't delightful. So for me, if I was the Pirates, I might go with is it Cruz? Is that his name?
Dylan Cruz, yeah.
Yep, so, I might hit for him first.
So interestingly enough, Dylan Cruz has been projected as the guy all off season. So much so that there are rumors that there's a deal already with Washington and Paul Skeens. But the betting odds favorite is Paul Skeens, and he showed up here. Though I've got some birdies out there that told me that Dylan Cruz was met with the Pirates yesterday. The Pirates flew out to him. I have heard a rumor that they might be cutting a deal with Max Clark. just chatter that's going out there, which has also speculated into Dylan Cruz falling because of a deal that's set with Washington and Skeens. Wyatt Langford and the Tigers don't want to overpay because Dylan Cruz wants over $10 million. Again, why is this important? There are 3 big college bats in here. One that could maybe even just go to the majors in Skeens. And really 2 of the 3, I think, could break camps next year. So it's big fantasy stuff. I'll be breaking it all down from fantasy perspectives. I'll be around over this weekend. Those are the big ones. And I have got a bet for everybody here coming up in our bet section because I think you guys might want to get invested in it. Though everything I touch right now is dying, so whatever I say, it'll be the opposite. A quick 3 up and 3 down. Francisco Lindor 5 for 5 with a homer, 2 triples and 3 runs against the Diamondbacks against the Diamondbacks as the Mets blew him out. Andres Gimenez went 2 for 3 with a homer and 3 stolen bases. Maybe picking it back up. He's up to 14. Whit Merrifield, pair of solo homers. On the 3 down, Luis Severino, 7 runs in 2 2/3. Not good. Ryan Nelson absolutely obliterated for 7 runs over 3 innings, and Bryce Harper 0 for 5, 3 Ks. While also I just wanted to point out Tim Anderson in the doubleheader went 1 for 9 with 3 Ks, which, Wonky, I don't think that's very good. Which one feels worse, 0 for 5 with 3 Ks or 1 for 9? He did have a double with 3 Ks.
You don't think that's very good? That's excellent fantasy analysis, Welsh. Yeah, I would say Tim Anderson he's so much more concerning to me because he's just not doing kind of anything. I'm wondering if they try to trade him. It feels like he's one of those guys who might like do better or try harder if he wasn't playing for the team that he doesn't want to be on anymore. So.
I feel he's getting traded. There's a lot of drama around him. I think he's getting traded. So let's move to our boys over at PrizePicks. That's right, PrizePicks. Promo code leading off, 100% match up to $100. You get free money to go have more fun. You guys, we give you guys picks every single week. Go and download today and use that promo code. Support the show. PrizePicks. We love them. You love them. And Kelly loves them. Kelly, what do you got for your PrizePicks today? Let's get cash.
All right. So I've been really big on the combined Ks lately. I've been winning more than not winning. And I like the Hunter Brown, Luis Castillo combo for over 11.5. I just feel like that both teams have the propensity to strike out.
I love that
the Mariners.
One, by the way. I was mad you took it.
Sorry. And then I have Candelario if he comes back, depending on health, but he's been doing really well on the fantasy teams I've picked him up on. So he's kind of an under the radar, probably available in a lot of leagues for over 1.5 hits, runs, or RBIs. And then I've got Ohtani because I just decided to pick the cheat code for over 8.5 fantasy score.
Honestly, why not? Like Ohtani, it's a safe bet. Lefties, righties, it just doesn't matter if he's out there. You're not going to get hit every single time, but your odds are exponentially better with Ohtani out in any of your betting, prize picks, fantasy, whatever lineups. You're safer. I am going with Zach Gallen and Justin Verlander combined Ks at 11.5. I really like Gallen today. I don't remember if I put it on my bets. I actually didn't even put it on my bets, but the 6.5 Ks I'm kind of down with. Pirates on the season don't strike out as much, but recently are striking out, and Gallen, big 12K performance. So I really like Gallen today. 11.5 for Gallen and Verlander. Love Corey Seager, 8.5. I tend to go to Corey Seager and he goes 0 for 4, and Luis Robert, fantasy score 8. So those are my 3 over on the PrizePicks. As far as betting goes today, I have got 2 of my odder, weirder plays. Texas team total runs through the first 5 innings. So just how many runs are they going to score in the first 5 innings? Over 2.5. Love this play. Immediately played it last night, even though it's kind of juiced up. You might want to pair it with something. Here's another one that you could pair it with if you want, but also play solo. Toronto, Detroit runs 2.5 over through, I believe that is, now I'm forgetting, I believe that's through the first 3 innings. So that's first 3 innings, 2.5 runs over. That was my way to get invested in this Manoah. Also, there's a possibility Manoah is good and Fado isn't good. So this just gets me some action in this game on one side or the other. I just need 3 runs scored in the first 3 innings. And then here's my draft bet. Dylan Cruz, as of last night, over on DK, you guys can go over to Betting Pros. You can check out all the odds on all the places. but on DK was 225. Max Clark was 400. So here's how I play it. I bet, I guess in my world would be 2 units on Dylan Cruz to go number 1 overall at 225. And then I bet 1 unit on Max Clark, which assured me if one of those 2 gets drafted, I am taking home 2 units. So no matter what, even though I put the 2 bets out there, I've left myself open for Paul Skeens. Langford is not going 1. Skeens can, but the whole industry believes that Skeens and Washington are a match made in heaven. So I'm setting myself up that I'm going to get one of these. With how things are going in my world right now, it'll 100% be Paul Skeens, but I feel it's been Dylan Cruz with an outside shot at Max Clark. So betting both of those assures me a nice payout. And hey, if you want to, you can get a little bit less of a return if Cruz goes, if you want to bet the same amount. If Max goes, you're going to get a much better return. If Cruz goes, you've eaten into your profit a bit, but you're still okay. But 2 units on Cruz, 1 on Max Clark. That's my MLB draft betting I'm doing. Wonky, what do you got?
I would do like I'm really big into round robins, which we can discuss some other day, when I host again in August. But for today, I would do just a small, like three pick round robin. I love the Yankees against the Cubs. Jameson Taillon is terrible, and he is just legitimately terrible, even though his expected stats say he shouldn't be. He is. The Red Sox, I'm going with the run line on that one over Luis Medina and Oakland. They're at home. I think the wind's blown out. There's just no way. And then I'm actually going with the betting pros pick of the day, which is over 8.5 runs between Atlanta and Tampa Bay.
Oh, I like that one. I also like Sorare. You guys can come and play with us. Check out Sorare today. It's digital cards meets fantasy games. All of it is ownership as well. You own these cards. There's an incredible marketplace as well where you can buy new. It's essentially an investment. You can invest on new cards. And guess what? You can list your cards on the market as well. Get in on it today. Get these guys in lineups, and you'll have an opportunity to win more. You want to have a little bit more fun? Come and check us out over on the Leading Off League, fantasypros.com/leading off league, where you can play with all the peanuts and cracker jacks. Joey's there. I'm there. Go and check them out today, fantasypros.com/leading off. I'm not my acumen for DFS like Joe isn't quite as good, but I did put out there, if you're looking for some arms, I'm very heavily focused on Zach Gallen. I also really like Hunter Brown today. I like the K markers on him. If I'm stacking, I'm looking at the Dodgers. I'm really looking at the Giants, who the Giants have going up against Austin Gomber in Colorado. Also, maybe the Chicago White Sox. So you can pick and choose from there if you want to get those bad boys going. I did not get the home run board, so I don't know or have it, but I did see Razor earlier say that he recaptured the lead. So I don't know if you know, Kelly, where we are on the leaderboard.
Yeah, I actually updated it in the sheet, but yep. So we've got Razor at 33, JJ Tater at 32, Riley at 29, and Primetime at 28, and then a lot of people with 26.
Who did Razor have? Razor got who had multiple homers yesterday? Because maybe Gunnar. Razor, who did you go with? Because you jumped over Tater, and I think you were 1 behind. So Razor and Tater are both over the 30s, the only ones. And then we've got a litany of 25, 26s, and I have just kind of fallen off. I'm back to my old ways. Apparently, I'm going to be a super streaky home run caller because I was up. I am down right now, and Joe has been kind of moving up. So, Kelly, who you got for your home run call today?
Yeah, so I don't know if I did this just because it's you and me, or because the wind is blowing out and he's facing Cole Irvin, but I'm going with Byron Buxton, assuming he can stand up straight and get into the batter's box a couple of times.
Are you trolling me?
He might. No, I'm serious. He might come out with an injury probably 5 seconds before game time, and I'll switch. But for now, Byron Buxton.
I feel like I'm getting trolled. It'll 100% be Buxton, and it's like Corbin's hurt and Buxton, and then Paul Skeens will go 1. Everything's not coming up. I'm going with another thing. If you want to go and check out the conversation that Joe and I had over on Betting Pros, we did a video all about the Home Run Derby, how to bet it, our logic around it, and you may hear me talk positively about this guy right here, Adolis Garcia, in the Home Run Derby. I really like some metrics in his favor. If you even want to pretend metrics matter in Home Run Derby, I'm going to go with Adolis today. So that's my pick for the home run call, Adolis Garcia. I guess that's going to be my weekend call as well. I might change it up, and the way I can do it is when I am over on the Fantasy Pros Discord, which you guys can be a part of when you sign up, become a premium member, get an upgrade, get access to all the amazing stuff from managing your lineups, their incredible tools, my playbook, get you guys hooked up with lineup assistant, waiver assistant. And when you get in there, you can get in the Discord and you can chat with all the awesome people. And you can also make your home run calls with the home run bot that is in there. So we did it. I didn't cry, which I think was a really good thing. I felt like I was going to cry a couple times. I didn't cry today. No bad news happened. But Kelly, what do you got going on in the world as we go into the weekend? Plug something positive.
Plug something positive. Well, I'm trying to figure out how we're going to do the home run calls for the home run derby, which is usually a pretty fun, sort of wonky little contest. So you should definitely join the Discord because it is fantastic. And yeah, I really wasn't trolling you. And Richard, I'm sorry, but I still believe that I would drop Buxton for Lamont Wade. So, there's just that. But otherwise, yeah, I'm just looking forward to watching some baseball and relaxing in my little house. So what are you doing?
What happened to Wonky Wednesdays, by the way, where we got our bonuses? What happened to our bonuses?
We usually implement those when Joe goes away. So,
okay.
So, because he always picks the judges, and then I'm like, well, let's catch him because he won't participate. So yeah,
that's true. Well, we'll see how that goes this year. But the way this is going, I either need Joe to never go or never come back. I don't know which way this is going to go with the Corbin Carroll stuff, but hope he hedged his bet. Hope he got his hedged bet. That's what he cares about. I'm sitting over here crying. I'm like, my brand is all crazy. Like I said, if you guys want to check me out this weekend, I'll be on CBS Sports HQ for some draft coverage. And we'll be breaking it down next week. We got some great videos here on the Fantasy Pros MLB YouTube channel, as well as Betting Pros. And just follow me over at Is It The Welsh. Also, we're both on Threads if you care. Horrible job everyone's doing, even though some have tried. We're letting Joe far surpass me, and that's a travesty. So let's take care of that. We can't let the bad guys win. And the bad guys out there with the steel chair and letting Corbin Carroll get hurt. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. We'll enjoy it on some all-star breaks, and we will be back again on Monday, Joe and me. Hopefully, maybe we'll just kick Joe off and we'll get Kelly. But Kelly, thank you so much for hanging out with me, and you guys, we'll see you next time right here on Leading Off. Bye, friends.
See y'all.